Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so let's jump on in, shall we? We are going to go ahead and get into a collective message. So it's not zodiac specific. As we see zodiacs pop up, I will call them out. I know earlier this week we were doing really bright backdrop, and I just needed something softer. I guess is what I decided as the week has progressed. So we start with the Knight of Cups. It is in the reverse. Hi, Desi. Great to see you. Patricia, Mooney, thanks for being here, everybody. Missed you guys yesterday. I was not around. But to start with the Knight of Cups in the reverse, we have somebody who is either abandoning a plan of coming forward with an emotional offer. Now, this could be they're abandoning the plan to come in as a knight. This could be somebody who wants to level up, somebody who wants to do something more, or this could be somebody who's like petrified, not moving forward at all. We don't know. We just see a stall out on the topic of somebody moving forward with an emotional offer. Ace of Swords is here. The Sun is here. The Ace of Pentacles is here. Okay. I was thinking, I don't know. For some reason, this didn't give me like the vibe of like, oh, never mind. I'm just, not interested. It seemed like we have a character who's thinking about, the importance of something. And sure enough, two aces and the Sun, by the way, strong Leo energy here, and doorways and truth and new beginnings. This is somebody who's like, I'm not coming in as a freaking knight. I'm better than that. Knights are great. Let's not knock the nightclub. Knights are powerful, but they're different. They're the action takers. They're not the decision makers. They're the action takers. They are not stable enough to like plant the seed necessarily. They are the ones who are looking for the terrain to then plant a seed. Now, this person is, I think, deciding I don't need to come in light and fluffy. I have way more clarity. I have way more truth about what I want, where I want to be, how I want to, present myself, how I want to present my offer. Now, this could be someone, we're going to say he, just because we've had a masculine so far both times, and I do look at the Sun as masculine energy, but please do remember, I don't actually read for genders. And we all have yin yang within us, so it all depends on which version of us is coming to the surface. So of course this could still be a feminine, but right now we're going to say him. He perhaps has decided he's not interested in one area or one person or one emotionally charged opportunity because there's a different one that he's more interested in. Or it's just, I know what I want and I want to do this with more swagger, more panache, more seriousness. I am 100% sure about what I'm doing. I'm not 50% sure and testing the waters. I'm not coming in as a knight. I'm coming in not even as a king or an emperor, but I'm coming in as the Sun. The Sun doesn't get more clear, doesn't get more joyful, doesn't get more straightforward. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. Really great to see you. I may cough just a little bit still, just FYI, guys. I didn't have, my air conditioning went out for like, I don't know, it took about 5 days or so to fix it. And so it meant I was sleeping and having all my windows open day and night. And unfortunately, I have really bad asthma. And so it would bring in all the, especially like the forest fires. And every night when I would wake up in the morning, because I breathed so much of that in and was like laying down, I have just been miserable. And asthma was like getting ramped up. So yesterday I didn't do any videos. It just got fixed. The air conditioning got fixed yesterday. So today my lungs are a lot better. But I can feel here and there, I'm going to cough a little. I've been kind of waiting all day to get on here and do some videos. So hopefully I didn't do too much coughing, but yeah, I might still. So forgive me. I know it's unpleasant to hear on the mic. But with that Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, it's interesting because he's saying, my lady love's not going to do any of the heavy lifting. It's going to be me. She does not think or want this feminine to do any of this. This is my thing. I got this plan in mind. I got to take this action. Aces are personal. So to have, excuse me, so sorry. To have these two aces with these two doorways and this personal intention, like this is a man with a plan. That's how we're going to read this. He doesn't want this feminine to start pre-thinking or putting in effort. It's like, I want to, show up. Devil in the reverse. I don't want her getting the wrong idea. I don't want her thinking I'm here just for a good time, not a long time. I don't want to come in and make a presentation that has anything toxic about it. I don't want it to get to where, like, I just think he wants to be crystal clear about who he is, his name, his identity. This is who I am. I want you to see the real me. I want you to see me as a strong, joyful, positive, powerful, masculine that I see myself as. That's who I want you to see me as. So that's who I'm going to be. He seems really, I like him. I really like him. We have the World. This is pretty awesome. I don't know exactly where he's at or where he thinks she's at, but it's kind of cute because loyalty is going to be the name of the game, right? We have the little white dog over here, pure loyalty. I kind of feel like in his mind, he's saying like, I want to be the kind of person that maybe she hasn't met before. The World card is endings and new beginnings. If he wants to rock her world, change her opinion, this could be like a really good guy who wants to make sure that she meets him and knows like, you're a really good guy. Holy hell, you're not like anybody else I've met. You're more loyal, you're more truthful, you're somebody I can count on. It does feel like in the best kind of way, he wants his persona to be presented. He wants his ego. This is like, I would argue this is like the best kind of ego we could have, where it's like, I want to show up as this empowered person. And yes, I want someone to see the difference in how I would treat them. I want them to see that I'm not like the other ones. I want them to see that I'm not like other people you've dated. I'm way more like straightforward, honest, truthful, certain of myself, joyful. I got nothing to hide. Like that is, if that's where his source of pride is, I say go for it. That's a great thing to be proud of, that you're, is that song, I Am an Innocent Man? I think that's the song. Is it Billy Joel that I'm singing right now? It just feels like somebody who's like very honorable and they want to be seen that way. Knight of Swords. He's going to just suddenly go ahead and like present himself at some point. This is him. He's already been thinking quite a bit about this. He's decided he's not coming in without it being like something with certainty. And now that he's already got that clarity and that certainty of how he wants to present, any old time that he has the opportunity to come forward, it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't have to pre-think it and wait for a day and, have, sweaty palms and feel uncomfortable. He's just super confident. So whenever, however he gets the opportunity to reach out, that's what he'll do. He already knows what he's got to say. He already knows who he is. That's really awesome. How about our feminine over here? Ooh, Nine of Swords. Maybe this is why he's like, I want to make sure she can tell that I'm not like anybody else that she's met. Because we have her like laying on the bridge, kind of stressing. Stressing a lot. Nine of Swords is pretty uncomfortable. If she has dreams, they're probably not good ones of past relationships. If she doesn't have a lot of trust, maybe unfortunately in like divine masculine energy. And again, please remember, this story could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, doesn't matter. So we're not trying to vilify every dude in her life, right? It may not even be that. This could be a dude and a dude. But it does say she obviously has stress or misgivings, because what's she dreaming of? She's dreaming of like, sometimes you get your heart hurt. Sometimes there's people you think you can trust and then they betray you. That's happened before. I have memories of that. We've got two different skulls here. We got somebody she still has, not particularly nice memories of. I think I get why he's like, you know what? I'll be damned if I'm going to get put in a bucket with her exes. That is not who I am. And I want to make sure she can see the difference. This is what a good man does. This is how a real man talks to you. Or man, woman, doesn't matter. Please remember. Ten of Swords. This is great though, because she's not fearful. You can be stressed. You can have learned painful lessons. You can still be bothered by lessons and actually not be scared to carry on. If anything, she is just like, I am so freaking done with the memories of bad, unsavory past situations. I am so done with anything that reminds me of the past. Like, I do think that her let's say her gait is very, very tall now. I'm picturing somebody who has a castle and their castle is heavily fortified, right? They have, a moat, and they have, a gate, and they have like ironwork, and they have, a defense system. I feel like for her, she's not letting anybody cross her bridge, anybody come into her world if there's anything reminiscent of what she's already been through. And I think words are pretty important. Since both of these are swords, I think she's learned to listen to what people say. If somebody says stuff that's insulting or selfish, I think she listens, and she doesn't immediately go, okay, I know that they said things that were outrageously selfish and ignorant, but they couldn't have meant that, because nobody could act that way, right? I think she's like, oh, hell yeah, they can. I've heard it. And then they really meant it. People tell you who they are sometimes. I'm thinking that words are huge for her, but she's using it less as like, oh my God, I'm so scared, and more as, I've learned how to listen. And when somebody says something that I'm flat out like, we do not resonate with each other, I can put an end to that conversation. I don't have to date that person. I would say she may be a little swift to judge. I don't mean she jumps down people's throat like the word police if they say something that's like, ooh, you didn't use the correct, like, look, we can be a little bit uncouth, we can be a little bit rude, instead of, may I please have, whatever, another slice of pie, be like, ooh, can I get another slice of pie? I seriously don't think she's going to be, like, they weren't quite polite enough. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the glaring, like, somebody who says, yeah, well, I was married, but then I had a mistress, and, man, I sure bet on the wrong horse that time, my mistress turned out to be the nut, that she's probably not dating somebody who tells her stories like that. You know what I mean? I'm talking, this is big stuff. And I say that because we got 10 of swords and 9 of swords. Again, doesn't matter what gender. I'm sorry to have used a gender related thing there, but I just want to make the distinction. If she's going to have a high bar, I think it's more the vibe that I get off of this is, where are the deal breakers in dialogue? She's not dealing with people like that. We have got the Strength card. Really nice, because there's a big transformation about what she expects. She expects a lion. She expects a protector. She expects somebody who's worthy of being called the king of the jungle. Again, could be a feminine, just as easy. This could be 2 women, 2 men, but whomever she could give that, that, like, how do you not look at a lion and be like, damn, those creatures are so regal, right? They're so powerful. They walk with this power. They walk with this grace. I think she's realizing, I want somebody that I can feel that way about. Otherwise, forget it. And that's what's changed. She's got to have somebody she can respect. And she's not going to be able to respect certain things that come out of somebody's mouth if it's, unkind or BS or something like that. So I think the context of who she could see herself dating, she has to give them respect first, which means they have to do something to earn that. And I'm thinking that that's the real bar now that she's set. That's the transformation in the way she evaluates who she's going to date and who she's not. Yes, it has to do with, you see all the written word here. So again, we go back to words. The words that people say, the things that they stand for, the things that they stand against, those things matter to her. Do you have convictions? Do you have strength of character? Do you know who you are? Do you need to please people, or do you need to, stand by some kind of like code of honor that you yourself actually represent? And I think that's more or less what we're saying here, is that she's changed what her expectation is. Well, this is a perfect matchup, because the way he is coming at her is like, it's not like he's going, okay, I think what she wants is somebody really powerful, so let me see if I can put on that costume and go and approach her. No, I think he's the real deal, and I think she's pretty sure about what she's looking for. But who are you, feminine? Let's ask, who are you? Prince of Swords. She is somebody who has perhaps in the past moved a little too swiftly. You notice that we have like a spiral staircase, and then it's locked door up at the top. She has perhaps sometimes leapt to an assumption that, one conversation then must extrapolate and mean so many other things that in turn it maybe didn't. Sometimes she's been a little too quick to assume or to maybe let somebody into her world. We've got the Princess of Wands here, which is like the Page of Wands. She's very attractive. She has a backbone. People don't maybe necessarily know that about her at first, but I think that okay, so forgive me for saying it this way, but if somebody was attracted to her and showed interest, at one point she may have assumed that it was because they can see that I have a backbone, they can see that I stand for something, right? Look at how prominent her backbone is. So she may have assumed that, well, obviously that's what they're attracted to me for. No, darling, I think they might be attracted to you because you're really attractive. And I don't know that she knew that bit. Maybe because her expectations of attraction are based off of something different. But I'm thinking, this is not to call her stupid or anything like that, but she kind of jumped to a conclusion that might not always have been correct. And I'm thinking it's because she hadn't factored in. Sometimes people are just coming towards you because you're candy that they would like to gobble up. And I think she might have thought, well, they must be a soulmate because there's no way they'd be drawn to me. I mean, if I have a certain backbone, they must care to get to know about me. They must like what they see in me. And I'm thinking that she applied this, like, you know, if people are drawn to each other for any reason, it must be soulmates. No, I think it can just be carnal lust. And I'm wondering if she didn't quite get that. So she may have, you know, ended up in even trying romances with people or relationships, not realizing that there was a chasm between why she was, you know, assuming that, okay, they must like me for the right reasons. They want to get to know more about me. And then what the reality of it was, which is in their mind, it was like, oh no, you're real pretty. You know, let me touch you. I feel like that was perhaps, that's a tough lesson. And if you jump ahead and you make an assumption, and if you don't have this fully formed vision of who you are, because she sees herself as a Page of Wands, mildly attractive. I would disagree. I think she's probably very attractive. And if she's strong in particular, that can be doubly attractive to people that are looking for somebody strong, because then they're like, ooh, I could latch on. You're strong. You're going places. So I'm thinking that she didn't have enough like discernment sometimes. Again, not because she was foolish, but because she was assuming, well, there must be a good reason that they're drawn to me. We must be soulmates. Sometimes, yes, but sometimes it's not going to be a soulmate. It's just going to be somebody who is, we'll say, cunning enough to latch on to a strong person or someone who has great value. Like I always say, thieves steal diamonds because they're valuable. Thieves are not going to go out and get a job if they can possibly instead do something easier, which is to steal the diamonds. You know, so if she was a diamond and there were some individuals who wanted to steal her and she didn't know she was a diamond, she might not even fathom that they might be thieves sometimes. She might have assumed that their soulmates, you know, recognize, oh, they think I'm a diamond. This is so nice. Yes, but they didn't have honorable intentions. So I think this has been a bit of maybe a hard lesson for her. Remember, she had that 10 of Swords and that 9 of Swords. It's the only reason I'm interpreting it this way, because I think she had some hard lessons because she jumped to conclusions that weren't true. And I think that's why words mean so much to her now. What do you really say? Because I think she's been able to think back and be like, the people that I've talked to, they always told me who they were at some point. They said something that was so in discord with who I would have wanted to be with, who I thought they were, or who I thought I was dating, or why I thought they were dating me. I think that's why she weighs words heavily now. We have the World card sideways for her, which is interesting because remember, we've already seen that World card here. But this is on this new, we'll say the lion's side, right? The way he wants to approach her. He's like, I'm determined. She's going to realize like, I'm not the same as people she's met before. She's over here with the World card. And, you know, in this case, it came out sideways. And I think instead of her being like embittered or something like that, I think she's become wiser. And I think she knows that, look, there's got to be awesome people out there that I'll match up better. Maybe I didn't always pick the best ones. Maybe I had to learn a thing or two. Maybe some people were soulmates because they helped me learn some lessons about who to avoid dating and how to listen for the things people actually just tell you about themselves that you're like, whoa, I can't believe they just said they're inside. Petty voices outside. Or they totally told me that they're not with me for any of the reasons I assumed, like I feel like those could have been lessons for her, because we see her saying, well, it's a webbing, it's a network, right? We've got the kind of like a combo of a dream catcher and a spider web here across the world. And so I think she's aware that there are reasons we have experiences and we're all kind of tethered together a little bit, but there's also, hope that this is a new dawning day for her, that she'll maybe not have any more repeats of lessons she's already learned. So she's already hoping for that. She's already in I would say a more open space of like meeting somebody who's totally different, somebody unlike her exes, which is terrific because that first fellow we were talking about, man, he's the real deal. So let me just ask this, because I do have one last question. How, why has this masculine been like, you know what? Hot damn, I'm not coming in as a freaking knight. I want to come in way bolder than that, way more certain than that. I just want to know, what is it that either like gave him this flicker of, like knowledge, confidence. I don't know what other words to use here. What's making him rethink his approach and think of approaching her at all, I suppose. Okay, the Tower, some big, huge, I was saying, I think he's got like a great version of, ego. Are you guys having trouble with the audio? Oh, it moved at 2 times the speed. Wait a second, guys. So sorry, I'm live right now. And if things are okay, I don't see anybody else having problems. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much, but if you guys are having any issues with the audio, please, I'll try to remember to look up once in a while and see the chat. I get so into the story. It's like I'm reading a book and I can't put it down, and I forget to look up every once in a while. And so if you guys have problems, okay, AJ, awesome. Thanks. I was worried that I was, all the audio was going crazy because we've had that happen. To have the High Priestess here, I was saying earlier that I felt like he had like a really good version of ego, the kind of ego that's like, no, I'm something better. I'm something different. I'm somebody of consequence. Like he has got good intentions, and he has a right to present himself like, a powerful person that is honorable, because he is all those things. And he takes pride in that. And I'm going to say that is something, I don't know if this masculine has recently had like this awakening that it is stronger to be both masculine, and then we also bring in tremendous amounts of feminine intuition here as well. He may have recently become very harmonious with what it feels like to be truly balanced in himself. Strong is also vulnerable, honest, truthful, unafraid to present himself, not like he has to swagger in, not like he has to use pickup lines. He's just straight up. If he's interested in somebody, he feels like, why can't I tell somebody exactly who I am? Exactly, why can't this be a joyful expression of myself, my interests, who I would choose to get to know if she'd like to get to know me too? It's just coming across as like he's using his intuition with that High Priestess, because there is no ego blocking, or none of the negative ego, right? Negative ego is where it's like, okay, I don't want to look stupid, so I'm not going to tell somebody that I really like them. I might come across as like put on a persona, not risk my own, seemingly like embarrassment if I got rejected. That's kind of the ego that keeps us from ever like perhaps pursuing what we really want in life openly and fully, and being able to express ourselves fully. He's not having a problem with that. So there's been some kind of, if he had that kind of ego or fear, which we all do at some point, that's all gone. And he's brought in this energy of like, yeah, but my intuition says I like her. My intuition says I can read that she does have a high bar, but I'm not intimidated by that. I can tell she's the kind of person who wants to meet somebody who's honest. I'm thinking he's picking up her vibe pretty well with that high priestess. He wants somebody who's, or she rather wants somebody that she feels like she's meeting the real person. And okay, so he sees her as a queen of wands. She, in his mind, he's like, she could have pretty much anybody that she wanted, but she's selective. That's not an intimidating thing. That's just somebody who's sure of, herself, which means I can show her how I'm sure of myself as well. No games, no nothing, because she doesn't care about people who play games anyway. She's not interested. He must have observed her, and he must have actually read her energy really, really well, and it made him feel more comfortable, not uncomfortable. Now, I would just say that's probably because he's a grown-ass man. This is a good man. This is somebody who's sure of himself. Maybe they'll be terrific together, maybe not, but at minimum, he's like, respect the fact that she's who she is, and I can see that I can be who I am and approach her exactly like that. I do think, because if he's seen her disinterested in other, these all look like really sexy guys back there. They're all super good looking. But if she's still not interested, it's because that's not what she's actually after. She's after something of, intelligence, quality. Not saying these guys couldn't be, but you got to be more than a gorgeous face. He already knows it about her. So I'm thinking that's the other reason he's like, well, damn, it's not like I got to worry that if I strike out, it's because I wasn't suave or enough. She's not going for suave. She's looking for something quality or something. I guess maybe I should say authentic, because she's not interested in some of the other ones that he might be saying, well, they're better looking than me, and she's not at all interested. That means it's not her number one thing on the list. That might in turn make her that much more attractive to him. She could have gorgeous dark hair. She has it both times here. That could also represent like there's an air of mystery to her. Personally, I think dark hair is so gorgeous. In my next life, I want dark hair. I love dark hair. We have a 3 of Wands. Minzy Thomas, thank you so much, beauty. Thank you so much. You are so incredibly generous. This all looks so like positive about like the future. It's about joy. It's about, I don't know if she's got a great smile or what, but there's an element to her that he just knows this is somebody he could like see himself at minimum having a good time with, maybe a long friendship with, whether there'll be romance or not. Look, she's attractive to him, obviously, but he also respects her. But he's looking at her as, that's somebody I would want to be around. I mean, what a great basis for anything. At the end of the day, you're someone I'd like to be around. We can't say that about just everybody. It'd be nice if we could, but let's be honest, not everybody could we envision having lengthy conversations with or spending a whole lot of time with. Sorry, guys. What about for her? Have you noticed him? Do you know anything about him? Death card. She's kind of possibly just now in a place where she's, we saw butterflies for her before, where I was like, okay, so what's transformed? It's where we saw that strength card. And I said, well, what's transformed for her is that she's realizing she wants to meet somebody that she respects. I'm wondering if she's encountered him, that might have been what triggered her to say, you know what? I wouldn't mind somebody like that. There's something about him that seems, respectable, seems impressive. King of Pentacles sideways. But here, this is truth of her lesson. Remember, we said in the past, she might have kind of leapt to some assumptions that if somebody's interested in me at all, or if I'm kind of interested in them, then they must be a soulmate, right? And she kind of leapt to that conclusion. You notice she doesn't leap to that conclusion. So she might have said, that person, they seem great. They seem really together. They seem like that's the kind of person I'd maybe want to try dating. On the other hand, I don't know who they are. They don't get that title. All right. Hey guys, I'm so sorry that I sometimes have this happen. It seems like if I do longer videos, sometimes it'll buffer. And so I know that just froze up for a second, but we should be back. Okay, good. I'm back. Usually if that happens nowadays, I can do a reset while I'm still live and we don't lose each other. But what I was saying is I think she's really good about not thinking too highly of someone nor terribly of someone. She doesn't know this person. It's great to say, oh, they seem like they might be a great person. Hell, it could even be like I could picture he looks like George Michaels to me. Let's hope he sings like George Michaels, right? He's got a great voice. But this feels like she's saying, I could maybe see us having some great times together. But then again, what do I know? Unless we cross those bridges, there's a lot of things that would have to be built before I'd know if that's the case. And I just think that comes across as so, intentional and thoughtful and being inspired, but then, keeping our feet on the ground and saying, who knows? But somebody who seems to be what he appears to be, that's attractive to me. I could maybe see myself potentially getting to know somebody like him. So are these two perhaps connecting at some point soon? We have the Fool card, which is, and the Dreamer in the reverse. This actually says no, not suddenly, not right now. We've got the Four of Swords in the reverse. Hang on, there's not really any blockage to them communicating, but for some reason it's just not in the moment. Okay, we have Empress energy sideways. Patricia Bocator, thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. You are so generous. The fact that, and here's that world again. This is that feminine energy. It could be that he's subtly waiting for a little bit of a sign that she is ready for him to approach. Remember, we saw him with the High Priestess's energy. So he's reading her energy really well. He's very intuitive, which, I mean, could make such a great partner for her. Somebody who's like super divine masculine, but also super connected to his feminine energy, his moon energy. If he's actually saying, well, I'm not just going to go barge my way in to her life. Yeah, I can pursue, I can present myself, but I also wait until I can tell that there is a receptive energy on her part. So this is actually very much on the feminine's side as to when he'll approach. He's not going to come, like swaggering his way up to somebody. I never mind. I can't tell that. There's a personal story in my head. Sometimes interesting things happen. But we've got a Seven of Cups upright. It's very much about her. If she's still like, you know what, I think he's interesting. I think that could be somebody I'm kind of impressed by, but who knows? Unless she's sure about whether or not she'd want to find out, that it's her energy right now creating I don't want to call blockage, but it's her who has to, remember I said I pictured like a castle with a moat and a, iron wrought, gate that comes down, and she probably has to open up some of her energetic defenses just a little bit, but with certainty, and say, like in her mind or in her heart, I would like to get to know him. I'd like him to approach. I, would be willing to connect to someone like him. I don't know that it's more than energy, because this is emotions with the Seven of Cups being here. So it may be a little bit more of like, it's our feminine who right now is keeping this at bay. He's picking up on her vibe. He's not going to force his way into her life. But if it's important for her to contemplate, is she wanting to talk to him? Is she wanting him to approach her? It is going to be, if she's not sure, he'll probably never approach, because he can read her energy very well. He's sensitive to it. 10 of Swords. And it's about timing, right? Because we have Big Ben here. We're on a street in London. That 10 of Swords, this is her. Remember, she already had the 10 of Swords. And I was saying, okay, so she's kind of saying, I'm done with people that show me who they are. And, if I don't want to deal with them, then I definitely don't want to deal with those individuals anymore. If there's any residue from exes that she still has nightmares about or something, as soon as she's done with that and she really feels cleansed and cleared of ex's energy, that's probably when she'll be totally ready to say, oh yeah, I hope that one, that lion, that king of pentacles, that person who I'm intrigued by, I hope he approaches me. She's got to be real ready for that. And that means no more worrying about or being bothered by the thoughts of exes. It's still, I feel like she needs to cleanse her energy somehow. I don't know if she needs to go like paint or something, because we've got like a tip of the hat to Starry Night here by Van Gogh, and we've got a tip of the hat to Monet's Water Lilies. I know, I just feel like she needs to do something like maybe creative to like expel whatever residual energy. Maybe she needs to sage, or maybe she needs to do some chakra balancing, but something about like shedding or like brushing off her aura of ex's energy. It's all about when she's ready though. So it's kind of an interesting story because it's very much very energy focused. This whole story is energy focused, but you know what's so awesome about it is it's the sensitivity to someone else's energy, which to me lends more credence to the idea that this guy's going to be a great match for her. Anybody that can pick up on her energy is not intimidated by it, is not insulted, is not feeling like he wants to overpower or overwhelm, but instead is like, I really like her. When she gives me the green light, that's when I'd like to approach her. I want, he's sure of himself, but he's also respectful of her. To me, that's like the greatest balance of a leader. I know who I am, but I don't force myself into your world. If you invite me in and you want to see more of me, I will happily show you more. I am not afraid of, being open. I'm not afraid of rejection. I'm not afraid of anything. I go after what I want, but I don't think that just because I want you, now I have access to you and I'm entitled to you. That's where I'm like, that's a terrific blend of, the courtesy with their personal empowerment, but with the courtesy and the acknowledgement that everyone else is a sovereign being. And you do have to ask permission. Would you open the door to me? It just feels very respectful, but also very bold. Like I say, a true leader. Awesome. Good for you. I really like this character for her. So I will leave this one here. Sorry that it froze up for a second, guys. I'm really glad, though, that it worked itself back out so quickly. Oh, so wonderful to see you. Carrie Wilson, I'm so happy. You're in Greece again. Oh, honey, I am so, so delighted. It feels like I'm there with you. So thank you for that lovely image in my mind. Oh, Julie, you're in Bali still. That's wonderful. You've been there for a while now. It must be really nice. So many of you out there are such world travelers, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. Empress DC 77, thank you for being here. Right back to you, babe. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Gigi, I am her. Wonderful to see you, honey. Thank you again, Patricia Bucator. That was so generous. Sassy, hi. Courtney Walsh. Okay, good. It did bounce back on. Okay, great. Sam Anita, AJSRVIM. So great to see you guys. BM Leave, thank you for dealing with me while it was a little bit stuck. Christopher, thank you for being here, love. Sheila Thomas, hi, honey. Sheila, are you? Let me know over in the members corner if you're a member. I don't know. Sheila, belated happy birthday. But if you're a member, just know in the members corner, I do also pull cards on Mondays in our members corner. So please don't forget to jot that down in the members corner, okay? Because I don't want to have missed you, but I do that over on that side. So just to give you the heads up. But regardless, a happy belated birthday, sweetheart. I hope it's wonderful. D. Rogers, hi. Earth Magic 12. Ganesh Moonalal, did I say that right? I love your name. Thank you for being here. Thank you again, Minzy Thomas. So awesome. Minzy, it's so cool. I think I've known you since the beginning of my channel. I think it's been years now, Minzy. I am so touched that you're still with me. Thank you. Tack Ellis, hey. Sassy. Thank you. You know what's so funny? I found this at a thrift store, of course. And then I found another one like a year later in black. same print, same everything, but in black as well. So I'll probably wear that one on this backdrop also, because it's a hard backdrop to dress for. So so I'm glad you like this one, because we have another version of it coming. Stephanie, hi, hun. Great to see you. Brian Van Winkle, Alice Wonderland. Hi, honey. I almost never catch you in a live. So great to see you. Lightning Cass, hey, hey. Donnie Divine's in the house. Wonderful to see you. Hi, Bodine Sherman. Thank you with the readage. I love it. Spiritual Healing Now. Ana Guerrero, thank you for being here. Hi, Claudia. Chastity Harris. Elizabeth Vallejo Sanders, thank you for being by here. Wander T. Murdoch, how are you? Hi, Ava. RS Love. Cherry Coleman, so good to see you. Arizu Sherkat, how are you? Hi, Nor A. You're so sweet. No problem. Rare Lestrange. Hi, Selene. Slave Princess, always great to catch you, love. Hi, Jem. SOGLNAP, hey, hey. Well, Jean-Luc Picard is a very dashing gentleman. So I think that anyone who's lucky enough to conduct themselves in his manner or look anything like him, that is absolutely fantastic. So I am sure that you are a heartbreaker. Patrick Stewart is such a fabulous actor, and I always thought he was the perfect choice for running the Starship Enterprise. Hey, RT. Sagittarius, Leo. Lauren Coe, hey, hey. Trina Dowell. Jessica Rios, Tribes to Go. I know there was, and the light, sorry, honey, I almost missed you. And Annette Summersby, Maria Gonzalez. Thank you guys so much. I'm not able to scroll backwards any further in the chat, so I'm so sorry that I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody. But I'm so honored you guys are here. Godzilla MC. Oh, I love that. Godzilla MC, Time to Say Goodbye is amazing. You know, I have to say, last night when I was kind of down for the count and was just taking care of my lungs and resting, I had a little baby listening party. I put on like my big old, headset, because I like to hear music where it's like I'm at the concert, because the Voids dropped their new Megs of Ram album last night. And so I was having a listening party. Oh my gosh. I probably listened to Unholy Lover probably for an hour straight, maybe. I always, when I start listening to something, I tend to like work my way through an entire album, and then I'll like hone in and I'll listen to like each song, on repetition for quite a while until I'm like, okay, now I know the whole album. But oh my gosh, that was really nice. So yeah, I didn't even go down the road of opera last night because I had no idea the Voids were dropping that new LP, or EP, I suppose. So it was great. Manus Luthra, how are you? Victoria Eden Rose. Excuse me, Victoria Rose Noir. Don't ask me why I want to throw Eden in there. FK Slay, my pleasure. Thanks for being here. Carrie, you're so sweet. The light, thank you, Angel. You are so kind. Living Water. Sheila, happy birthday anyway, my love. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you. We're going to get to some love stories for zodiacs. I'll do as many as I can before I start coughing again, and we'll just continue on. So, Tribes to Go, are you music lover too? Oh my God, isn't it the best? All right, you guys, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.